Well, it's 9 o'clock. Stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Brian, we put appointments on that. Get a chance, if there's any days you'd like to take on, we would understand.
I'd like to keep the senior.
Okay.
I'd like for John to have a shot at that rec center.
He's got it.
Yeah, well, right.
Yeah, I'll take someone. I just need to listen.
All right, well, you look at them.
I got things squared away.
And we'll do that at the next meeting.
I can be around a good bit more now.
Okay, good.
Fine.
Just look at them and we'll stay what they are now until the next meeting and we'll officially change those up.
Okay.
All right, Cindy, do you have any exonerations or consolidations?
None.
None? Do you have any estate qualifications or settlements?
Yeah.
Dave, did somebody from, well, you would probably know, somebody from my office stop up there and see about a cord for a computer yesterday for the frames?
What kind of cord?
It's a power cord. When I went to work there, hello, Mark. When I went to work there, they went to Staples and bought my computer. We learned a valuable lesson because the power cord, I think is what it is, the end of it went bad. It was 40 days old, and they took it back to Staples, they told me they had to send it in to get it. So,
I got some in my car.
yeah, this is for a new HP, the one that I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. Takes $1 to sign it.
It's working.
$1. When you sign up, you gotta pay $1.
Motion to approve the qualifications and settlements.
Second. Moved and seconded, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Martin, we'll back up and take you from the public there. I see you've left us something here.
Yeah. The Federal Highway Administration got a new program out. They're trying to get all fire, EMS, towing, recovery, everybody on the same page. It's a free class. We've got 2 instructors here in the county, myself and Eric Squires. We've got a big class this weekend coming up on Saturday. We've got some of the towing recovery guys that's going to be in it. Working with the retired state trooper from Princeton that's helping to push this class throughout the state. He was trying to figure out a way to get towing recovery to make it where they have to do it. And I said, well, hit your county commissions up. To get on the rotation from 911 centers, I said, at least in Gilmer County, it has to go through the commission, the way I understand it. So, I'm not going to read this thing word for word. It's just something for you guys to think about. And what it does, it gets everybody working on the same page. If there's a car wreck or something big, traffic congested, everybody's working on the same page to get the problem done, get it in, get it out. The classes are free. It doesn't cost the towing guys anything to take them other than just showing up, sit down for a 4-hour class and do it that way. And, and I told him I'd bring it to the commission and see if they would even think about, making it one of the requirements for towing and recovery to be on our rotation here in Gilmer County. Eric and I went to Emmitsburg, Maryland back in the summer, took the trainer just to be able to do this. And I've been to Braxton County, helped teach a class, got one this Saturday at Firehouse, and next week one in Franktown. So, and we don't get paid anything for doing it. It's not gonna cost the commission a dime, or the county. It's one of those free use state out there that gets everybody on the same page. I just thought I'd just present to you all to see what you thought.
Okay.
You have an extra paper.
Oh, yeah. And I printed off one from Oregon where they got it done, a couple copies that you guys can look at if you want to, but it's a really good program. Gilmer County is more the exception than the rule with all agencies, law enforcement, fire, and EMS, and towing and recovery working together. It's just the idea of getting the numbers into the Federal Highway Administration that, Gilmer County's ahead of the game. That we took the initial step to step up to the plate to do this, and this, and we're doing better than anybody else. That's what our main goal is.
Wouldn't this be a good thing, Martin, to bring up at our next LEPC meeting?
It will be brought up.
Of course, if it's supported
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, and the class this weekend, we've got some of the towing guys that's gonna be there anyway. I've got some from Braxton County showing up that we thought that the idea of it was that if any new towing and recovery guys came in, weren't on the rotation, you guys could say, this is one of the requirements you have to have, get with somebody, and they'll get you lined out, Give them a grace period to get it or whatever, but, just a good idea it gets everybody on the same page. And that way, if law enforcement and fire leaves, the record guys staying out there by themselves. This way it gets everybody, we show up together, we leave together, we work together, everybody's happy. Nobody gets hurt, and everybody gets home safe. That's the name of the game. So that's what I needed this morning.
Now, would you please speak about, there's something going on Sunday? 1 o'clock.
We had an incident there when this cold snap hit. Dominion had a gas problem, so they could turn off the gas to customers on the road. That's when it was getting down and freezing cold. I contacted the OEM director, or had dispatch to. She said that, the Sandport could open up a church, they do this, they do that. We got no assistance from her. I contacted Dominion, they said, we think we got the problem taken care of. Eric contacted me about 11 o'clock and he said that people in Sandport Road still have no gas. And I said, well, time 6 out, we'll go through, see what we can do. I said, I don't know what we can do, but we'll do something, We went through and some of the older people was bundled up in blankets. So we went and started scraping up every electric heater we could find and plugging in for them. We got the church opened up. But we got no assistance from that office, and that's ridiculous.
How long was the gas off?
Till 2 o'clock in the morning.
It went off at 12?
8 o'clock one day till 2 o'clock in the, 8 p.m. till 2 a.m. Those houses were cold.
What about this training that you asked me to?
Oh, now this Sunday you've had that 402 training. There's an M402 for elected officials at the firehouse. It doesn't cost anybody anything. One of the instructors that teaches it is coming up for this Tim's class. And I asked him, I said, well, now, I know the council of Sandport needs it and a few others. And, I talked to Larry on the corner the other night and explained to him. And I said, it's going to start at 1 o'clock Sunday. And I talked to Cindy about it. It's going to be at the firehouse.
Have you had a John?
But, Sunday afternoon, it's supposed to be 4 hours, but it's hard to stretch it out 4 hours. Well, it wasn't 4 hours up here at the commission room. But it's free.
How long ago did you have it, Brian? I mean, I haven't had it.
Well, I don't know, it's been a while.
Yeah,
Okay.
Daryl,
3 hours.
right after Daryl got elected. But, it's a BS class that just makes the federal government happy. The commission is up to par with the NIM stuff. And it's basically the same thing we do anyway, but you get a little certificate and get your name in the FEMA website that you can have the class. And, you know, we got it set up so it's free, it costs a dime. You know, we'll have coffee down there,
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
All right. We'll be there.
And Cindy can sneak off, said she's coming down.
Brian, you might want to be refreshed.
Yeah.
All right, good deal.
But okey-dokey, but that's all I got there to be.
All right.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Martin. Okay, we have no board appointments at this time. Budget revisions.
She does, but.
Of course, we do the budget control report quarterly.
Can I take a moment while she's going to let you know about something? And I wanted the media to know also. Newly elected delegate Roger Hanshaw has contacted the office and is contacting some other agencies' offices in Gilmer County. He has reserved a space at the Capitol next Friday, the 23rd, for any Gilmer County organization, agency, school, government, etc., where they can come in and set up in the hallway between the chambers and just do a public awareness, highlight issues or concerns or good positive things. This is an opportunity to showcase anything that is going on in the county. And so he'd asked me just to help facilitate, get the word out. He talked to you, Larry. We talked to about a couple different places we could contact. So I've made contact with different agencies, but I thought this would be an opportunity if you might be able to get that on the Free Press, Mr. Amazon. There's still time. They just need to notify me. I need to get a cable count down to Charleston by midweek. There's no charge. If anybody's interested, they can call me and I can give them specifics about what's happening so everyone understands.
He said they had about 24, 25 tables, and it was for the 3 county area that he represents, Clay, Calhoun, Gilmer, and just anything to showcase Gilmer County. I mean, made jelly in a jar and sold it. You could have space on the table. So.
Do you know the time?
You'd like to have everybody set up by 9 o'clock. And we'll probably be done whenever session's over, which will be around 1:30, he anticipates.
He also said he was buy anybody that came lunch.
With the top water.
I don't think it was the Tidewater Commissioner.
Probably catered from the downstairs.
All right.
I thought I knew that.
Okay, Angel, you have any budget revisions?
We have interline revisions we were running from the courthouse basement project. The change of scope of the jailhouse board for $11,000 to move it into the courthouse basement. Building capital outlay, and then to move $97,222 and $189 to reclassify.
Okay.
This is the state auditor revision. I increased the county clerk's earnings by $819 and increased the assessor $819. Reason being is because the minimum wage went up. And he has 2 employees that we pay out of general county fund. So that were below minimum wage.
Oh, man. Oh, they hadn't signed that from here.
You still there, are you?
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Sorry. Real nice clerk. Is it hot in here?
No.
You definitely need to get down there by the window though. That's where you need to be, you're always hot when you come in here.
Oh, Larry's gotta have the big seat. How's the farm, Larry?
Hey, it's, ground's still frozen. Plenty of hay.
It's nice when the ground's frozen, isn't it?
Oh, man.
Best part of the day.
Yeah.
Me and that spud bar, I tell you, it's about to get the best of me. I'm glad it did warm up a little bit. There were about 5 days in a row where it was morning and evening.
Tell you what,
Those
it
concrete water troughs before they get.
I was getting ready to say it doesn't take long to get 2.5 inches of ice on it. They say you can drive a pickup on 4 inches. Seems a little sketchy to me, but.
I don't think that's right.
Motion to approve the budget revisions.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed nay, motion passes. You doing okay, Angel? You doing okay? It was close, but that's,
Yeah, I just want to remind you guys the budget season has started, so I'm working out paperwork and sending it out. Give all the elected officials their budget request forms, so you guys have it already.
I don't have that in front of me, but I think the first thing we do is meet with them.
There's
There's a protocol.
Yeah, then they fill out those and send them back to you, and then you meet with them.
We don't meet with them prior. We meet.
Most of what we do is just elected revenues, so you get kind of an idea of what revenue is going to be, and then whenever they bring the expenditures, whenever they bring their office request, so you can add all those up to what kind of difference you get out there.
It just seems like if we know going in there will be less, why we wouldn't share that with them first.
We've done that before, Commissioner.
Share it with them first
Yes, we
before
have.
they went to all that trouble.
We have done that before.
When you think we should do it again?
We heard. I mean, they just won't go, otherwise they're just gonna go and bring it back, and we'll tell them then they're gonna go do it again.
It seems like wasted effort.
Yeah.
I won't give the certificate of evaluation until March 3rd, so I won't have what our taxes are going to be.
Until March 3rd. Well, would it be possible our next meeting in February, at the end of the meeting, to meet with them? I mean, we don't have to have it right to kind of really know what's going to happen.
But if you want me to, you guys want me to,
Does that sound reasonable to meet immediately after, just have a little workshop with them after our first meeting in February? All right, that's what we'll do.
if you want me to set anything up for,
If we think of something,
you'll let me know.
yeah.
I think
Thanks, Angel. Okay, the minutes of January 2nd, 2015.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed nay. Motion passes.
Yeah.
Gene, you're doing a good job. You've been getting these out. I mean,
Probably by the end of the day.
I'm telling you, probably easier to do if you just get right on that.
Sometimes I have to steal over them.
Okay, we are in receipt of county board minutes for the PSD. I'll list all these dates for several of the meetings. Also, the E911 addressing report for December, and the E911 advisory board minutes for December. And those are here at the courthouse for the public. Unfinished business, there's nothing to report on the right of way on Canal Street. I know Jerry's been in court, but as soon as he has some free time, he's going to give us the guidance how to move forward on that. The courthouse basement project is completed with a few exceptions.
Yeah, later in new business, there's some reports I'll have you to sign. Also approval of 90% of the payment to L&L Contracting, retaining 10% until those final items are finished.
Okay. Request from Commissioner Bennett for reimbursement of insurance premiums. You know anything else?
I have not heard if the auditor has gotten back to Angel. I
He's-
have to check with her and see.
Isn't that going on right now, our county audit?
It hasn't started.
That's the ambulance audit that started.
Tiffany's supposed to be here Tuesday.
Tuesday? Is it the same person doing the ambulance audit?
No, it's different.
Okay.
This is the deputy state auditor that she communicates with. Like me to check with her and see if she's heard.
Angel, yeah, I think she has heard something.
Okay, do you know what she's heard?
My understanding is they've resolved the issue of the bill or the payment that the statement from PIA will suffice for the bill or whatever. And I have to submit a bunch of paperwork, a copy of that each month. Even though it doesn't change, I have to submit the same paper every month.
Okay.
I mean, she might tell you better than I can.
So what he's referring to is, the auditor said that we just need a paper trail. We need something that shows every month that he's making that payment to attach to the reimbursement. So the exact amounts, we have a paper trail, there's no problems with audit, and doesn't create a taxable event for him. So the difficulty was in finding that piece of paper because of the way the retirement board handles their insurance payments. But we did find a way, and he can go on his account every month and he can get what he's talking about. He can print it out every month and attach that to the reimbursement request, which he's created. Give that to Angel. It'll come through your bills for approval. And reimburse him the exact amount he's paying, the $235, versus what it would cost the county if he went on the county insurance, resulting in a savings for the county. That's what I know and understand about it.
Well, it's probably a little premature to take action on it right now until we meet with the audit and have something in writing, I would think.
Should we make sure
What
she
you
doesn't
just
already
stated
have
to me
that
right
ready?
there was similar to that ambulance policy that we read last night.
Well, she probably does have, Angel probably
Yeah.
does have that in writing. We'd have to check with her, but I know the additional correspondences regarding this were all in writing through email.
Is
so
the
we have
auditor
that.
that has approved this, is that the one that's going to be here next Tuesday?
No. He is her boss, the one that Angel's talking to.
Yes. Boss, and the one that'll be here next Tuesday. Well, I feel like we should still have more definite reasoning that we're making.
Okay, so you want to, we'll carry that over to the next
Yes,
meeting
yes.
and present the findings in writing.
Jonathan, to get this
We're not supposed to be discussing it, so.
That's, Brian, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Approval of 2015 schedule of regular meetings for the county commission. I thought we did that.
You,
Well, yeah, but Cindy was gonna make up a list of the.
yeah, what I was gonna do is make this up because we wanted to see what days might not be, Fridays might be legal holidays.
I got you.
And there are 2 during the year. So this would be, so you need to look at the ones that have the asterisks, those are the days that are not Fridays, and make sure that those are okay with you.
So I am thinking then that June 18th, Thursday, the reason that needs to be Thursday is because the courthouse will be closed June 19th because of West Virginia's birthday on the 20th, which falls on a Saturday, and
That's right.
we're still holiday. Same way for the 4th.
Those are states, they're legal holidays.
Right, it's probably too early for you to know, but
We'll be all right.
we'll just submit that now.
Yeah.
We
So
can always
moved.
change later.
Second.
Moved and seconded to change the June 19th to June 18th, July 3rd to July 2nd for meeting days. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Anything else under unfinished business, gentlemen?
No, sir.
New business. And of course, Cindy and I attended the ambulance meeting last night, and they're aware that their audit, in fact, it already started. We need to, at some point, schedule a working session to discuss the voting precincts. Gina, probably have anything to add to that?
Well, no, we just need to get it done because August of this year, I'll start for 2016 election. And I've talked to the Board of Education, all of these schools, like the new school around here is gonna be 2016-17 school year. So we're gonna have to do it now, try to combine some of these precincts or find places for people to vote. Because if not, I don't know, these schools closing, we're not gonna be able to keep heat and everything in these schools. And we don't know if the county even is going to, what the county's gonna do with these schools.
So we're talking about 3, 4.
Well, we got, Troy, which is closing Wednesday for Glenville Elementary and Normantown. And then if some of these schools go back to the landowner, which I had heard, there's possibility of at least one, and, it will not be able to be used. I also talked to Cam Wilson, which he is a representative for ES&S, which he used to work in the elections department before he took the job with ES&S. He said there is a possibility that if you have one central location in the county, that you can use that as your election instead of having all of these multiple. But when you set a date, I would like to have Lena Brown from the Secretary of State's office to see if she can attend that session as well. But we've got to think about it now, and we've got to do it before I start working these elections, because I've got to do public notices, I've got to send letters, I've got to send new cards. We've got to start looking now for places to have these elections. We cannot wait.
I'm thinking the Glenville Elementary is probably still gonna be open, it may not be as a school.
It's not gonna be, I had heard through the grapevine that if and whenever they close that school, the Board of Education will be moving out there, and they said, yes, we could use that one.
The other ones will be done.
So, that's right. And, I mean, you gotta look how far out in, that we are, you know, through these, with these counties. And to me, I would just like to have it all in one central location, one we could do it in a much easier.
And while we're doing that, to do something about those two small precincts.
Oh, well, and that was, yes, that
Absolutely,
definitely
yeah.
we've got to
Think
take
about
care
that's
of.
a lot of wise use. of
Well, that was
words.
the legislature's.
Well, we know, next Friday is, we'll be at the legislature, so that Friday's out. How about a work session at 9 o'clock on the 30th?
I'll see if she can,
I don't know if we set a date or we were looking at that, for what you call it, but on the 30th.
Oh, yeah, for the Board of Equalization Review,
Yeah.
we have to meet that, you're gonna meet
So
that
you
day
want to
anyway.
have a work session right after it.
Yeah, we'll be here anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Good deal.
And
So the
I'll-
work
okay.
session, we're out on the 30th, after we open the Board of Review and Equalization, wasn't that at 9 o'clock?
Mm.
Okay. Good deal.
I know myself, I'd like to see as many precincts out to the people as we can have. People will want to
Yeah,
come.
but you gotta look too, you're having 5 people per precinct. Just your payroll, just the payroll for those 5 people is about $25,000.
I'm with John though, Gene, I mean, what's it worth for the voice of the people, you know?
Well, that's
That's what
true,
we're here for anyway.
but how many of those people come to town to early vote?
Well, it wouldn't be hard to figure out that percentage for sure,
No.
but I don't think you can centralize the voting location in this county.
I mean,
But we'll
I,
get it worked out one way or another.
But I do have an exception to that precinct, the 2 people voted and there were 5 people.
Sure,
That's-
sure, I'm not saying that there aren't changes that need to be
But
made.
you need a precinct in Rosedale.
Change my everything.
well, Rosedale, I mean, that's, I don't have, my main thing are the schools. And where are we gonna have these
You can centralize a bunch of them right
precincts? You
here.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they already have, how many precincts voted at the high school now? Yeah.
My main thing of it is the schools closing. You know, we've got to find places within that precinct to have a voting place.
Well, if you want to ask her, we're gonna, at our work session on the 30th, or when we open the Board of Review and Equalization, we'll move swiftly. Immediately after. If you,
The only thing you have to do is all that is open it up.
yeah,
So, 5 minutes.
5 minutes, right? Okay. All right, we're to that basement project grant, Cindy.
I have here final reports for the basement project. This is in a form of, it had to be in a form of a letter to the director of the Courthouse Facilities Improvement Authority. If anybody wants to see it, we can pass it that way for where it is signed. This is a reimbursement request. We're requesting right now $72,621. And that will be the balance of the grant. The additional monies to be paid will come out of our matching funds. Unfortunately, as we just talked about, we have $11,000 in other grant funds that's going to go toward that 20% match.
The engineer signed off,
Yeah.
we paid that amount.
Yes, I have, right here, the architect has approved payment to L&L Contracting in the amount of $83,430. That represents 90% of the total project. So she has looked at she met on site, she looked at the work, and they've signed off of it and sent us a letter that states her approval. And then she will sign off on the additional 10% once that work is completed and she does the final inspection. Take these back and get you copies.
Need a motion for that. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Sign West Virginia motor fuel tax refund application submitted in the amount of $1,007.10.
This is the application to West Virginia State Tax Department for a refund of the tax paid on the fuel purchased for county purposes.
Motion to
So moved.
Second.
moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes.
That hand sanitizer over
We're in receipt of the assessor's PVC budget for fiscal year 2015-16. You know what that means, John?
Yeah.
You know what that means, Brian?
No, sir.
Me either.
Okay. You're welcome.
Plastic pipe.
That's the first thing that came to mind, PVC pipe, and I don't think the assessor's in the pipe business.
PVC stands for Property Valuation Training and Procedures Commission. So the assessor can request up to 2% of the assessed value of the taxes for use in his line of work of reassessing properties. So that's where he gets his assessor's
Valuation money.
Right. And so you have the opportunity to dispute that, you know, if you want. So the letter comes from the state tax department to the commission in reference to that with information about what he's requested. It's an annual thing. And it gives you an opportunity if you want to go back and say, I don't really think you need 2% to do your work. So I just want to make you aware that you have that letter. You probably have never done that. He probably gets his 2% and that's what he operates
I
on.
never
And,
even had the
so.
Who makes that final decision?
Well, you as a commission, if you felt like the 2% was not needed, you would have to justify why you think it's not needed.
Well, we should
And
ask
the
him, shouldn't we?
You can. Help yourself.
I'm sure he's worth off.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, I've never asked him, I'd like to ask him. Go-
you can look, I mean, this explains what he's asked for. He has to do a budget of how he will spend that money. It's his 2 personnel that works with the
See, I
reassessment.
always thought that was in the law. There was no,
Yeah, they can't go above 2%, but you have some discretion.
well, I don't want to go ask him.
We haven't paid bills, and he just wanted to wait till last. I always thought the media would appreciate waiting till last to do the bills.
He has a check mark on his thing, so he may think.
He made that.
Maybe I'll underline while he's gone.
Well, the total of today's bills, you probably do want to miss it.
You forget your phone call, you forget. That's kind of thought maybe that's the.
No, he has a check mark. I underlined it like a bunch of times. He wouldn't forget it.
Yeah, buddy. All right, what do you need, buddy? You need something? Okay, very good. I'll call you when I get out. I'll tell you one thing, I didn't fool around and it started getting on me yesterday. I went straight to Hillary. I said, give me an antibiotic, or steroid, whatever I need, inhaler, nasal spray. I've got to go to work Sunday night. I have no choice.
But if you get the flu from the kids, that's not gonna help.
Won't help a thing.
And you won't give the Tamiflu unless you're tested positive, probably.
Right.
Bless you.
Look at the bugs on that tree. Look at the bugs on that tree.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Must be a cold weather tree.
Yeah.
If it doesn't get colder and stay colder, things are gonna bud early, like fruit trees and nut trees,
Like they did last year.
and get killed.
I wanted fruit last year. I've got 2 plum trees in my front yard. I planted them probably 4 years ago. And they absolutely, they grow like a weed. I mean, just, it's amazing how big they've gotten so quickly. They're the first things to bloom. The very first things.
Beautiful too, aren't they?
They're beautiful. They're the very first things to bloom, and I love them. But they'll get bit every year. You cannot keep them from getting bit. I won't take a water hose to them this year like they do in the orange groves.
Yeah.
But it amazes me. I mean, and they're the last thing for the leaves to fall off of. And I've got a Grimes golden apple tree over there, it's still got leaves on it. I mean, they're all, you know, they're dead, but
Yeah, apples hang on to their leaves or something.
Yeah.
It's like an oak, I guess.
yeah, you can go into a timber drop or something where they've cut oaks. 2 years later, those old dead leaves are still hanging on the tops, you know.
Now this is just the budget that he presented to.
Right.
Where is, this is what says, because he didn't know either, I would recommend that we, you know, caught him by surprise, that we table it and just find out what the law is. Either he thought the law, I always thought the law said, listen, 2% automatically goes out.
Yeah, I think that letter will tell you that you have, one of these pages, of course, the references a code right there you can go look at. You receive up to 2% of the previous years.
All those on the agenda is just that you received it. Any action.
Yeah, it was informational, and you could take action if you wanted to.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Well, it was an interest to him, he didn't think anybody had a choice. I didn't think anybody had a choice.
Sure, it wasn't interesting.
Interest us if we had a vote in it, but if we don't, we don't.
But you do, and it tells you in there and references the code, but
Well, as long
anyway.
as up in here was just automatic 2%, in there. Now, that's where he does pay, you know, he said, you know, all his travel, training, but I reminded him if it didn't come out of this one, it would come out of this one over here. even though it's, it's a basket of money, it's just, it's divided, 2%'s over here.
Yeah, it says here the levying body may present written evidence showing that a lesser amount than the amount requested by the assessor would be adequate.
That'd be difficult.
I wasn't suggesting that you do that, it came to the office, I just wanted to make you aware it came to the office.
I don't wanna read anything into it that's not there, but
I mean, his employees that that's paid out of, they're part of the ones that had to have their wages raised because they weren't making the new minimum wage, so, you know, it's not overspending.
all right, moving on. Receipt of a letter from Brenda Knott, introduction of legislative bill called Sarah Knott's Law.
This is informational too, I'm not suggesting any action on it, just letting you know that the commission received a letter from Brenda Knott. She is the mother of a teenager that was killed in an auto accident. She is working with the delegate from her area to take a law that's already on the books and actually make it a safer law, and it has to do with highway safety. And specifically in terms of state right-of-ways along roadways. There's a law presently says you can't park on state right-of-way if it's going to obstruct your view pulling into traffic. And that law needs to be expanded. So she just sent the letter informing you that that bill is going to be introduced for her delegate and asking for support.
There's a drug take back box now located in the sheriff's office. Any others in the county?
No, it's the only one in the
Only
county.
one?
That was put there through a grant through the Family Resource Network. And I understand it will be used in lieu of the drug takebacks days that they occasionally would have at the state police headquarters, where you can just take old expired or unused prescription medicines and dispose of them versus flushing them or putting them in the trash.
Okay. You guys have that, yeah.
And that will be an ongoing thing, it's just there permanently now. When it's filled, I believe it's
The DEA.
DEA will come in, yeah, thank you, good thing, I was supposed to say FRN and EPA, and none of those were right. But they will come and dispose of them properly.
Renewal of Office of Emergency Management Personnel Contracts. I'd ask that you consider tabling that to our next meeting.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed nay. Motion passes. Any other business to come before the commission? Oh gosh, how did I forget that? I just checked that and skipped right by that, didn't I,
That's
Jay?
why I underlined it there.
Well, we're down to the end then. All right, let's pay bills.
Okay.
Jeez, get out
To
of
remind you,
here.
you have a court, these have already been passed. To remind you, the court security grant workshop meeting at 10 o'clock.
We'll also want to say, while we're doing these, Rosie has turned in her resignation. She's accepted another job. At this point, I will not be hiring anyone to take her place due to our financial status. You know, willingly, if we have the money, I would like to say that I would like to have another employee in time if we have the money to be able to do that. But as of right now, I do not feel that I should hire someone and then possibly have to lay them off in the next 4 months. I just don't think it's fair to that person. So at this time, I will not be hiring to replace her.
I wanted to make you aware of the present status of our elevator. Quit working again the other day. One of our deputies got stuck in it. We're able to get him out, but we fix it, it holds for just a short time, and then it quits working again.
These are a different pile, no. There you go.
I'm good, thank you.
So the elevator's going good money after bad, just want to make you aware, it's not working right now. Need to know if you want to spend more money on trying to get it functioning again. It's just, we put a lot of money in the elevator this past year. It's needed when they have court, they need to get somebody upstairs. It's the only avenue we have to get them upstairs if they're disabled.
Different problems each time? I mean, is there any?
It's all,
warranty on this?
they're all interrelated. It's just absolutely worn out. Any adjustments they make will not hold. You know, back in the summer, the elevator repair company took the brake shoes off, took them and had them rebuilt, just like you would on a car basically, to try to get it to hold. And they've done everything they can do.
What did we get at J.C. Penney's?
These curtains,
Oh,
Black Friday sales, after waiting about a year to find something that was affordable.
I'm worn out, that thing's twice as old as me.
I got a new one, Brian.
I didn't even know it was you.
Well, they do look nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I know there's a paper somewhere. She starts February 2nd.
Another pile, girl.
First one. Nothing, her vacation. She's 18.
It's all one, yeah.
Can't be all one. All that together. I think these are all done. She's clipped all the 911 fee checks together that we've received that, you know, go right back out to the 911 center.
And some hot in here, man.
That's a new color.
I guess it always seems hot in here, you know.
Mhm.
It's just about as many as I've ever seen in a long time.
Yeah,
That's good.
it was good.
Keep an eye on her. Same one.
Now, this is a neat bunch right here, or this is the same?
Yeah,
These
we're
are
good.
all-
We're
they're
good.
still the same one.
Okay.
Whole bunch of-
we'll hold this jail bill.
I don't know if we know if that's been approved or not, if we're holding it.
Here's the one that needs approved.
On this basement project, that comes out of our money and then we get reimbursed.
Yeah. But we did budget it, so we do have it in the line item. In fact, it will be, that line item will be over because of the extra grant money we have to put in it. I mean, over in terms of having more money than we use.
Yeah.
Send this, I had it here first, there.
With the lower prices of gas, has there been any change on this?
No, in fact, it's up for, the IRS rate is up. I think it's 55 cents, 55.5 cents for 2015.
Well, I know I can tell the difference. My goodness.
Yes.
It's been a long time since I said, you know, you fill up and you go in and you pay and you smile at the cashier. And think, oh, I think they made a mistake. This can't be right.
My company truck's got a 35-gallon tank on.
I mean, she said she needs all these stamps separately.
Oh, isn't that nice?
December 21, and another decision.
Yes, we do.
Oh, woods.
Starting to smell down here.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want the 10% increase. They always try to do that too.
Is that the flood
This
insurance
flood
policy?
insurance, yeah, this is for the whole house
Yes.
through to East Main Street.
Last month, last meeting, you approved payment of the policy, and we sent the check to learn before the check had been cashed that there was an error made, or policy was marked as residential. So when they picked up on them and changed it to non-residential, it upped the premium. So they
Doubled it.
returned. It didn't double it. It went from 430 or so up to whichever one, the 600.
601.
So they returned the check, which we have voided, and they've issued the new policy with the new premium.
Now, we got this, but I thought we had agreed that we were going to pass all these bills on. The deal.
We did agree.
Well, that's your insurance on the property you
Well, I was
own.
getting ready to say, I don't think you can pass that one.
Well, it's not much insurance for $601. It's $2,600 on contents, and it's $37,000 on the bill. That insurance is going up.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere,
Yeah.
of all kinds.
You might be getting on.
Yeah.
When the vehicle gets older and the insurance gets higher, no, it doesn't. Well, but your taxes go down. You should say that. I gosh, we still missed one. Just that big one there for $1.94. Right, pay the November home to December. Yeah, we're going to, somebody has some questions. New batch.
Since the grant security meeting was scheduled to start at 10 and Judge Facemeyer will be calling in, just wanted to give you a heads up, a little past 10 in case he will call before we get started with that meeting.
We just say this.
Y'all ready for the total of the bills?
Yep.
$180,165.50. Motion to adjourn.
Approve the bills.
All motion to approve the invoice.
Second.
Moved and seconded to pay the bills in the amount of,
$180,165.50.
any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Our next correspondence again will be on the 30th at 9 o'clock, board review equalization. How are you, Carol?